Every time I think about handing something off, I feel like I'm risking my whole business. That's the thought that sits with me whenever I hover over a task I know I should pass on. I'll look at the stack of work piling up on my desk, glance at the new hire sitting just a few feet away, and still I'll hear that voice. What if they mess it up? What if the client walks? What if everything I've built collapses just because I let go for 1 second? The truth is, the fear of delegating doesn't feel like fear at first. It feels like responsibility. It feels like professionalism. It feels like the voice of someone who cares deeply about their work. But when I look closer, what it really is distrust. It's perfectionism dressed up as duty. I can remember the exact scene. On a Saturday afternoon, in a quiet office, my team went for the weekend. One of my newer staff had been waiting all week for me to hand over a simple client follow-up. I'd told myself all the excuses. They're still too new. They don't know my style. The client might not feel looked after. So I kept it on my desk. I clicked my pen open, closed, open, closed. The sound sharp in the silence. The task was right there in front of me, but I couldn't sign it off. And that's when it hit me. The sound of that clicking pen wasn't just a nervous tick. It was the sound of my fear. Clicking on, clicking off. Do I trust them? Do I not? Do I want freedom? Do I want control? It was like I'd built a cage for myself with nothing but my own need to hold everything in my hands. The hum of the fridge in the break room reminded me I wasn't really alone. There was a team waiting, a family depending on me, clients counting on more than just my exhaustion. But in that moment, all I could see was the risk of letting go, and it felt like too much. Some nights, this thought keeps me awake. Maybe I didn't build a business at all. Maybe I just built a trap. Because that's what it feels like when you can't delegate. Like you've poured everything into something that now owns you instead of something you own. Sometimes I wonder where this need for control comes from. Is it my culture? My upbringing? That old belief I grew up hearing. If you want it done right, do it yourself. Maybe it's perfectionism. Maybe it's pride. Or maybe it's the fear that one wrong move will cost me everything. A client, a reputation, the fragile trust of this business I fought to build. The truth is, it's all of those things. Every time I think about letting go, my chest tightens. My brain floods with all the possible mistakes that could happen. A wrong figure entered. A call made with the wrong tone. An email sent too quickly. And in this business, sometimes even the smallest mistake feels like it has the weight of collapse behind it. And I know I'm not alone in this. Let me ask you, do you struggle to trust others with your work? Do you fear that letting go will lead to collapse? Do you tell yourself that nobody else could possibly care as much as you do? If you said yes to even one of those, then you know what I'm talking about. You know that the fear of delegating isn't just about tasks. It's about identity. It's about control. It's about the hidden belief that your worth is tied to doing it all yourself. I think about the wisdom that says, growth comes from teaching, not clinging. It sounds beautiful, almost poetic. But in practice, when I'm staring at the new hire waiting for me to assign a task, I can feel that pen in my hand clicking again. Not signing, not letting go. And here's the irony. The more I cling, the smaller my business feels. The more I hold, the more I lose. Because when you try to do it all, you don't grow. You shrink. Sometimes I feel like I built this business just to trap myself in it. That's the rawest truth I can offer you. And maybe it's your truth too. But I'm learning, slowly, that the only way out of that trap is to trust, to teach, to risk, because the alternative is burnout. And I've been there too many times already. The mistake itself was tiny, a misplaced number in a client's file. To most, it would have been nothing. But in my head, it exploded like a grenade. The moment the client called with the complaint, I felt a sinking in my stomach so sharp, it was like stepping off a cliff. I hung up the phone, and the silence of the office felt heavier than a crowd. My eyes drifted to the new staff member who had made the error. They looked nervous, shifting in their seat, waiting for my reaction. But I didn't say anything. I just clicked my pen again and again, the sound sharper with every snap. Inside, my thoughts were spiraling. This is exactly why I can't delegate. One mistake can ruin my reputation. I should have done it myself. I always should. The sticky notes covering my desk looked like evidence stacked against me. Each one a reminder of a task I didn't trust anyone else to do. Each one screaming, "Mine, mine, mine." And still, the work piled higher. My inbox is filled with unanswered emails. My phone buzzed with reminders. My shoulders ached from being hunched over for too many nights in a row. The truth was clear. By trying to avoid mistakes, I was creating my own collapse. Because when I snatched the file back from my staff's desk, it wasn't just paper I was grabbing. It was control. It was fear, disguised as responsibility. I doubled my workload in one moment of panic, convincing myself it was safer this way. But safer for who? Not for the business. Not for the client. Not for me. I leaned back in my chair, rubbing my temples. The clock on the wall ticking too loud, too steady, like it was mocking me. I wanted to slam it just to make it stop. The emotional low wasn't about the client's complaint. It was about the voice inside me saying, "You'll never trust anyone. You'll burn yourself out. You'll never be free." That thought cut deeper than the mistake itself. Because if that were true, then my dream of building something bigger than me was already dead. But life has a way of cracking us open in the smallest of moments. Later that same day, that new staff member walked into my office. They looked nervous, but determined. They didn't try to defend themselves. They didn't make excuses. They simply asked, "I know I got it wrong. Can you show me how to do it right?" I froze, because my instinct was to wave them away, to mutter something like, "Don't worry about it. I'll handle it." That's the script I always follow. Protect, control, carry. But something about their honesty stopped me. I saw myself in them, years ago, trying to learn, making mistakes, waiting for someone to guide me instead of just punishing me. For the first time in a long time, I didn't dismiss the moment. I picked up the file. I walked them through the details. I explained not just what went wrong, but why the details mattered. And as I spoke, I realized I wasn't just teaching them. I was reminding myself what leadership really is. The next day, they completed the same task flawlessly. No errors, no hesitation, just quiet confidence. And when they handed me the file, I didn't panic. I felt relieved. Because this wasn't proof I was losing control. It was proof I was gaining strength through them. Every mistake became a lesson, not a collapse. Every lesson became trust. Every ounce of trust became growth, not just for them, but for me too. I thought back to all the years I had clung so tightly to the business that I nearly strangled it. All the weekends spent in the office alone, drowning in tasks that could have been shared. All the moments with family missed because I was too afraid to let someone else carry the load. And for what? To prove I could do it all? To prove I didn't need anyone? That's not leadership. That's fear with a fancy suit on. The symbolic moment wasn't just the staff member getting the task right. It was me realizing I could finally put the pen down, that I didn't need to click it like a nervous metronome, trying to control every beat of the business. I could hand it over. I could trust. I could breathe. In my mind, I picture the drone shot pulling back. From my small desk cluttered with sticky notes to the wide office filled with a team moving together. From a cramped, overburdened man hunched alone to a leader walking lighter, freer, steadier. And with that image came the words I had been searching for. Delegating isn't losing control. It's building strength. For the first time, delegation didn't feel like weakness. It felt like leadership. The hardest part about shifting fear isn't the insight. It's the practice. Because even after seeing my staff succeed, I still caught myself reaching for control, like an old reflex, muscle memory etched into my bones. Delegation, like anything else, isn't a one-time epiphany. It's a discipline. So I built myself a ritual. Each Monday morning, before diving into my week, I open my journal and write down one task I will not touch. One task I'll either teach, assign, or completely hand off. It doesn't have to be monumental. Sometimes it's small. Updating a spreadsheet, sending out appointment reminders, proofreading a contract. The point isn't the size of the task. The point is the act of loosening my grip. At first, it was terrifying. My pen hovered over the page like I was signing away my safety. My mind screamed, "What if they mess it up? What if it comes back worse? What if I regret this?" But slowly, the ritual began to change me. Because every time I circled that task and passed it on, I was building new proof. Proof that the world didn't collapse when I let go. Proof that someone else could learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Proof that I didn't have to be the bottleneck holding my own business hostage. And here's the grounding piece. When I hand off the task, I don't just throw it over the fence. I pause. I teach. I explain not just the what, but the why. That's when delegation shifts from fear into freedom. When it becomes an act of teaching, not abandoning. To help me anchor this, I added a small physical cue. I keep the same pen I used to fidget with, the one I used to click nervously, refusing to sign anything off. Now, I deliberately press it down onto the page when I write the task I'm delegating. That single click marks the shift. Not fear, but freedom. Teaching builds freedom. Not pressure, not panic, but freedom. Because every task I hand off isn't just a lesson for my team, it's a release for me. It's oxygen in lungs that were once suffocating under the weight of everything being mine. And the reassurance that steadies me every single time is this: every shared task frees you to grow. Growth doesn't come from clinging. Growth comes from creating space. When I zoom out now, the story is clearer. Delegation was never just about handing off tasks. It was about redefining what leadership means to me. For years, I thought leadership meant doing it all, proving to my team, my clients, even myself, that I was capable enough, disciplined enough, relentless enough to carry everything. But the truth I've learned is this: leadership isn't about proving strength. It's about multiplying it. Every time I've trusted someone else with a piece of the load, I've seen something powerful happen. They grow in confidence. The business grows in capacity, and I grow in freedom. The weight doesn't get lighter because I work harder. It gets lighter because I've shared it. That's the shift I want to leave you with tonight. If you're carrying everything on your own shoulders, the deals, the emails, the numbers, the pressure, I want you to hear me clearly. You don't have to carry it all, and you're not meant to. Your strength doesn't diminish when you share it. It multiplies. So here's my encouragement for you. Take one small step this week. Hand off one thing, however small. Teach someone how to do it. Let them grow. Let yourself breathe. Shared strength is multiplied strength. You can say it aloud, or write it down, or anchor it somewhere you can see. Because when the fear rises and your hand reaches to snatch the task back, you'll need that reminder. Letting go is not collapse, it's growth. Picture the closing symbol with me. The office, no longer buzzing with just my frantic energy, but steady, alive, collaborative. My chair is empty at the end of the day because I've finally left on time. My family is waiting at home. The real reason I built this business in the first place. So, what's one task you can share this week? One thing you can let someone else carry with you?